Why do I believe and trust that everything is a spirit and you have to stay prayed up in order to control these spirits and rebuke them and keep them away from you? In the Bible, in Matthew chapter 12, verse 43 and throughout 45, it speaks of an unclean spirit that returns. And it reads, when an unclean spirit goes out of a man, he goes through dry places, seeking rest, and finds none. Then he says, I will return to my house from which I came. And when he comes, he finds it empty, swept and put in order. Then he goes and takes with him 7 other spirits, more wicked than himself, and they enter and dwell there. And the last state of that man is worse than the first. So shall it also be with this wicked generation. Let's understand dry places. What is a dry place? Well, we have in Exodus 16 through 17 verse, it speaks of the wilderness. That's an example of a dry place. Then we also have another example of dry places when we can go into the book of Jeremiah, when it speaks about Judah, and the state of spiritual dryness that it went through. And then it's also another example of dry places. Now, this is where when the spirit leaves, out of you, where it goes into, reflect back into Matthew, where it said it goes through dry places. So going through dry places, these are examples of dry places. And we also have another example in Matthew chapter 4, verse 1 through 11, where Jesus was tempted. And that symbolizes different spiritual testing and preparation for his ministry. And we also have in Psalms 63, where David expresses his longing for God. That also represents a dry place. And last but not least, in my notes, I wrote down this last example, which is the valley of dry bones. That is from the prophet Ezekiel 37. He sees a valley filled with dry bones. So now let's discuss the spirit of harassment. The spirit of harassment, now we will call that a harassing spirit, right? It's often understood as a malevolent force or influence that causes distress, torment, or agitation to an individual. Now, when you go and you study in the Bible, you should come across and comprehend, if you have eyes to see, these different things that these individuals are dealing with within these stories. It is expressing to you the different spirits that come upon them. And simply just the small bit that I broke down with the harassing spirit, it carried along with it a spirit of distress, a spirit of torment, and also a spirit of agitation. And it also, these spirits can lead to feelings of fear. So it brings on another spirit called fear. Come on, y'all. Y'all ain't hearing me. And then we have anxiety. Anxiety is also another spirit of anxiety. Or confusion. Confusion is also a spirit within itself. These are spirits that the harassing spirit bring along with it, and may manifest through various forms of oppression or temptation, right? So those are 2 more spirits to add on: a spirit of oppression, a spirit of temptation. These are all things that need to be prayed against so that you can cast them out of you, because you don't know that it's possessing you. Because what you don't know will hurt you, because it's doing a number on you already.
The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When evildoers assail me to eat up my flesh, my adversaries and foes, it is they who stumble and fall. Though an army encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war rise against me, yet I will be confident. One thing have I asked of the Lord.